Single strand knots, tangles, dryness, even more detangling on wash day. I'm guessing these are some of the reasons why you hate doing wash and goes. But what if I could tell you there is a way you can actually do wash and goes to mitigate a lot of these things? Now, I'm not saying by any means I'm going to miraculously end your single strand knots on wash day, but what I can tell you is there are some things that you need to be doing if you want to do a successful wash and go. What's up, Curlies? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Keke, and if you are new here, I do all things curly hair tips, product reviews and styling. If you haven't guessed it, the topic of today's video is wash and goes. I am pretty seasoned when it comes to talking about all things wash and goes. Been through a season of my life where I was a serial wash and go and that's all I did, and then I went through a period of time where I was just doing protective styles and avoiding wash and goes like the plague, and now we've done a complete 360 and we are back at doing wash and goes. However, my new routine is slightly different. Now, with all that in mind, I have learned a few things along the way, and a few of these things are pretty universal as to what people experience when they do wash and goes, why they hate them and they avoid them and they get them wrong, as opposed to people who actually see success with doing these styles. So I'm going to share with you some things today that you need to actually stop doing when you're doing wash and goes and how you can actually fix them. Right, so the first thing for a lot of you that you need to get out of your head is trying to make your wash and goes last 7 days. I'm not saying you can't do this, because by all means you can absolutely do a wash and go and have it last the full week and not do anything to your hair. However, I would strongly advise against that, because we experience a lot more dryness, a lot more knots, tangles, shed hair, etc., and that is where the problems start to come in. However, what we do want to do is we want to try and just aim to get to that day 3 or day 4 point. And for most of us, that is when our hair starts to dry out anyway. I know for me, by the time it hits day 4, not that my hair is like crispy dry, but it definitely is in need of another moisture boost. And if you're anything like me and your hair doesn't do well with just spraying and layering product on top of the product that's already there, especially with wash and goes, this probably isn't going to work for you. So what I would advise, in order to make your wash and goes a lot more manageable, is when it gets to that day 3 or day 4 mark, when you would usually refresh your hair, just go in and do the whole wash day routine all over again. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Oh my god, am I going to have to deep condition and pre-poo and etc.
No, all you're going to do is you're just going to go in the shower. You don't need to pre-poo by any means, because your hair should be pretty detangled anyway from the last wash day that you did. You're going to go in the shower, you're going to do your moisturizing shampoo or some sort of shampoo that's not too harsh or stripping. Literally shampoo your hair once. If you can use a gentle cleanser, you can also do that. I prefer doing just one shampoo, and then I will go in with a regular conditioner, just rake it through my hair and then rinse it off. And then you do all of your wash day routine, as in the stylers, etc., on that day 3 or day 4, and then you dry it. Why this works is because, number 1, you're getting that moisture boost that you were missing. Number 2, what you will find is that because of the lack of time that you have kind of between your first wash and go and your second wash and go of the week, there's not going to be much shed hair, there's not going to be many tangles, and you will find that when you are detangling, you don't even need to pre-poo. If you have like hair that is in pretty good condition, you're not going to need to do all of those extra steps on that second wash day. This second wash day is just like a little buffer wash day to tie you over to your main one. You can even do a co-wash on this wash day if you didn't actually want to use another shampoo. And that is something I have done in the past for quite a while. However, at the moment, just due to the fact that my hair prefers just to be stripped of whatever's on it and reapplied the new product, I just stick to one shampoo, which is pretty moisturising. It's a sulfate-free one, and I just go in with that, and then I get on with the rest of my routine. The second mistake that you're probably making is your oil selection when it comes to your wash and goes. Oil selection is really important. Some oils are sealing oils, some oils have more penetrative properties. However, you're going to need to make a really informed decision on what type of oil you use. Some oils can make the process of detangling or separating the hair or styling a little bit more difficult sometimes because they create a little bit of drag. They might sit on the hair a little bit too much. And some oils can have the adverse effects. They can be like your serum-based oils, your silicone-based oils that are a mixture of synthetic ingredients and your natural ingredients. And that is where I sit at the moment. I am very much in the bracket of your silicone-based oils, and the reason is because, number one, my hair is pretty fine, it's on the finer side, and it just tends to deal better with lightweight oils that distribute really evenly and just finely coat the strands and provide a lot of smoothness and slip. And you will find with silicone-based oils that they do really well in protecting the cuticle of the hair and just smoothing the hair and giving it less friction overall. So be really cautious of the type of oil you are using. Do your research. Try different oils out. See what your hair prefers. But I know from my experience when I've tried using castor oil on my wash days, it's not gone down too well. So I'm now using Moroccan oil instead, and I'm finding that my hair really loves it. And as a result, I'm not seeing too many knots or tangles throughout the week with my hair. So the next thing you want to really be mindful of is the choice of your stylers. If you are somebody who prefers lighter holding products, then you can't really expect to get that much definition and hold and longevity out of your style, especially if you're somebody who is maybe trying to break past that second day wash day. Maybe you only want to do one wash day in the week, or you want to avoid the tangles pretty much completely. Lighter holding products are going to not give you as much control over the curls. Now, what I have found is when I do really define my hair on that first wash day, I'm going in with my medium to strong hold gels. And yes, I do look like Rick James by the end of the wash day, but what it does do is it does provide my curls with a lot of structure and a lot of curl clumps, and they do say there is strength in numbers, which I completely believe in when it comes to hair. I think the more packed and the more hairs there are in a clump of hair, the less chance your hair has of friction and tangling. And that ultimately, that is the thing that a lot of us experience problems with, is the tangling on wash day. And that is where the single strand knots come from a lot of the time, is when either the shed hair is not removed and it tangles upon the other hairs in the head, or the curls just become really dry and tangle amongst each other. So if you are using stylers, what I would recommend is your stronger holding gels. You can do a mousse, you can do the lightweight gels, but as I mentioned, they're more for volume and you are not going to get the curl clumps as much as you would if the gel was a stronger holding one. So the next thing you're going to need to make sure that you do, and this is not necessarily something that you need to implement on your wash day, but it's something that you need to keep up with, and it is your trims. What I will say is when your hair is freshly trimmed, your detangling process is much easier, your styling process is much easier, and the curls will clump together a lot better as opposed to when you've got straggly ends. So I just think, as a general rule of thumb, make sure your hair is trimmed at the ends and in pretty good condition, because as I mentioned, when the hairs start to be like wispy, or if you've got one or two hairs that are particularly longer than the other, there's not that much strength in numbers when it comes to curl clumping. So I definitely would recommend getting your ends trimmed. And on the flip side, you know when your hair needs a trim, because your wash and goes will start to get a little bit tedious. They'll start to drag on a little bit longer, and your detangling process will be a lot harder when it comes to those wash days. Okay, so the next one is actually very similar to my point on strong holding gels. But don't be expecting and don't be aspiring to get the most volume and the most perfect hair on day one. Now, I say this because if you're somebody who especially wants to go the full week in a wash and go and only wash your hair once, your hair's not going to last. You're going to have volume on day one, and then after day one it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because as we move through the week there's more movement, there's more wear and tear on the hair, you're moving around, you're tying your hair up maybe, or whatever. The moisture loses itself throughout the week as well, and with that the dryness comes, and with that the tangles come. And if you are opting for day one beautiful voluminous curls, as much as they look great, you are going to find yourself having to restyle that hair throughout the week, and probably more than once. And ideally, when we do our wash and goes, we don't want to be like constantly in our hair. Like, we do the wash and go to do it on day one, we might redo it in the middle of the week, but we don't want to then keep doing different things to our hair in between those days. So what I would recommend is on day one, you try and go for either a really defined kind of holding look, or somewhere in between, like the lightweight and the medium hold kind of look, because as I mentioned, the more volume, the more chance your hair has to tangle upon itself. And tangling is something that you often find yourself getting as the kind of gel cast wears off and you're on like day 5 hair or day 6 hair, and there's really not that much hold on the style anymore. That is when you start to see like those tangles and dryness and knots appearing. But if you're going for that look on day one, then you can't really expect to get to day 5 and 6 and not experience problems and issues when it comes to tangles and dryness. So always try and go for either a happy medium or something particularly defining on day one. Yes, you will look a little bit crazy, but as the week wears on, your hair will get naturally bigger and the curls will expand, and then you can have your lovely hair on like day 3 or day 4. Either we can choose to reset that on day 4 or day 3, or we can choose to just kind of put it up and wear it up for the rest of the week, potentially to mitigate any of those tangles and knots that might occur. And that moves us nicely on to the last point, and it is when you do your wash and go, you can't be expecting to wear it down all the time. And I know that we often do wash and goes to wear our hair out and to have it be like loose and free and like really low maintenance, whatever. And I'm talking to those girls especially who have hair that like hits their shoulders. If your wash and go is hitting your shoulders, don't expect to be wearing it out from Monday to Sunday and you not to get tangles or your hair not to dry out, because with hair that is on the slightly longer side, there is more chance of the hair tangling upon itself and you getting those single strand knots due to the amount of movement that you will naturally do from day to day, the amount of friction, your hair rubbing against different materials when you're going out, when you're in the car, etc. So what I would advise, and this is especially if you are somebody who is particularly working on length retention, is do your wash and go on day 1, leave it out, let it dry, make sure it's completely dry. And then day 2, day 3, day 4, wear it up. If you know you're going to be moving around a lot during the daytime, wear it up. Literally a satin scrunchie, do not even wrap it round twice. I will take mine, I'll put it in my hair, I'll put my hair up in a pineapple, and it will just be literally the scrunchie in its like usual state, not even tied round, once on my hair, and that is it. There's no tension in that. But what we do know is that the ends of the hair are protected because they're not rubbing against anything down here. So my advice to a lot of you is, yes, a wash and go is a style that we wear out. However, you don't always need to wear it out and down. We can't just do the style and put it up to save our ends. And if you find that you are getting a lot of single strand knots on the hair, a lot of tangles, then maybe consider just wearing your hair up a lot more than wearing it down. Alternatively, if you are someone whose hair doesn't even reach the shoulders, that's a perfect way to just enjoy your hair out, because I know when my hair was a lot shorter and it didn't reach my shoulders, I didn't experience any of those things anyway. and I think it's mainly due to the ends of the hair not seeing so much movement. As our goal is to really get ankle length hair, then we want to make sure that after day 1 our hair pretty much goes up and we keep it up. And you can obviously choose to take it down because it will be really nice and stretched by the time you want to take it down, but just as a precautionary measure to protect your ends and prevent them from the knots, just wear it up in a loose scrunchie. Hope you enjoyed this video on why wash and goes don't work for you and the solutions that you can use to actually fix some of these problems, or at best just really minimize them. Let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed with this video or any tips that you can share with the rest of us wash and go girlies, and I will see you in the next one.